This is the Lepow 2020 Z1 Gamut 15.6-inch Full HD display. It boasts high color gamut with an IPS panel, 1080p, ultra slim second screen with USB Type-C and HDMI inputs. It also has dual speakers. It's ideal for laptop PCs, phones, Switch, PS4, and an Xbox. Now this is going to be a quick review because you can check out my previous video that I did a little bit after CES 2020. Basically, I got the original monitor because I wanted to add on a second monitor to my mobile editing rig, which means just adding a monitor to my laptop. And being that it was a USB Type-C monitor that allowed me to get video and power from one port, it made it very attractive. Now in the original video, I touched base on this brand model that had a lot of easy usages. You plug it in, you can extend your desktop, all of a sudden you have so much more real estate on the go, and a monitor that realistically just does not take that much space to pack. It's about the same size as my laptop, it's pretty thin, and it has a nice leather cover that doubles as a monitor stand. Now not much has changed in this new version, although it is technically an upgrade. So in this video, I'm going to take a quick moment to test using my Spider 5 Pro color calibrator and see exactly what kind of improvements we got to the color gamut. Now in their email, they actually claimed 100% sRGB with some other improvements to the NTSC color. So that was definitely my first testing focal point for this video. Now I'm using a Spider 5 Pro color calibration unit that does measure the color gamut on the monitor. And through my test, which did take a little bit of time, I found that it only had a 78% of sRGB. It had a 74% of NTSC, a 76% of Adobe RGB, and a 67% of P3. Now to compare these numbers, on the old unit, I was only able to get 67% of sRGB, 48% of NTSC, and 50% of Adobe RGB. So while those numbers didn't exactly match up with the email that they sent me of 100% RGB, it is still a considerable improvement over the previous model. I mean, we're talking 8 months apart, so that's a pretty good improvement. Still an IPS monitor, it's still only 1080p, but it is still extremely useful to add on as a second monitor to a mobile editing rig. And while I don't expect any professional color graders to rely on this additional monitor to edit high quality videos, it is still a great addition to a mobile editing rig. But if I'm being completely honest, these small changes in the color gamut did not attract me to adding another review to my channel to something that literally looks almost exactly the same, or exactly the same as the previous model. Instead, my initial excitement came from the thought of, well, I added an easy second monitor to my laptop. What if I could add a third? Wouldn't that be neat? But unfortunately, due to limitations to my old, outdated, and completely slow laptop, I was not able to get all three monitors to work. I tried anything from daisy chaining the USB Type-C connections to using the HDMI big port from my laptop to the miniature HDMI input on the monitor. Now the Lepow monitor does come with a couple different options. You can either get video and power through that USB Type-C port, or you can use the Mini HDMI display to connect a port and then use a USB Type-C power source. So after fumbling around and trying to figure out any possible way to get my laptop to use both monitors along with the main screen, I failed miserably, which I was a little disappointed. Not the monitor's fault, totally the laptop's fault, so maybe next time if I can ever leave and travel out of the country and go to something like LTX or CES, I might look at a new laptop. However, there is one update and something that I've found very inconvenient from the last monitor that carries over to the new monitor. And that is anytime the monitor itself loses power, it forgets its brightness setting. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why this is a thing. The older monitor defaults to 30% brightness, which is just, in my opinion, absolutely terrible. I can turn the monitor on, set it to 100%, unplug it for a split second, plug it back in, and it's right back to 30% brightness. I can even change other things in the monitors, things like contrast, and it will keep those settings once I remove and add the power again. But for some reason, the brightness settings just will not carry over. It is extremely irritating, I'm just going to be honest. But the new monitor does offer a higher default brightness setting of 50%. It does still forget that setting if you change it to something like 100% or any other percentage anytime you power it off and power it back on. Or to be more specific, you unplug the power cable and plug the power cable back in. So again, if you want full brightness power with this monitor, every time it loses power and you re-add power, you have to go in and you have to manually set it. It's not a huge deal, although I do use the old monitor for a monitor for my camera. So this new monitor is basically going to be a dedicated extra monitor for the laptop because it does have better color. And changing that color when you're setting up your laptop, not that big of a deal. But changing that color every time you turn on your studio and everything's wired to a switch does kind of suck to have to go through and change that every single time unless I want to wire the monitor to constantly be powered, which is basically what I did because I don't want to have to change it every time. So the Lepow 15.6-inch add-on USB Type-C monitor is lightweight. It only weighs 1.7 pounds. It comes with that leather cover that doubles as a stand, but it also comes with a screen protector, which I'm gonna be completely honest, I did not even try to put it on because I tried to put it on the first one and completely screwed it all up and ripped it off. So maybe one of these days I'll put it on, but most likely probably not. It is only a 1080p monitor, but when you're editing on a monitor so small, even with my laptop, I changed my settings to 1080p. It just makes things easier to read. It does have a refresh rate of 60 Hz, just like the previous model, so nothing has changed there. But in the end, the price has increased by, I think, $20 or $30. If you want to check out the Amazon links in the description down below, you can get full updated pricing and technical specifications for this add-on monitor. So while a ton has not changed between the older and the newer models, having just a little bit better color does help when someone like me wants to use this as an add-on editing monitor while I'm on the go. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about this monitor, make sure to leave those in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for watching, like, and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.